Welcome, fans. We're live once again on the Cheap Heat Productions Podcast Network. My name is Jack Kilby, No Gimmicks Guy on the socials. And it's not Riders Wrestling Review this week. It is, of course, as we're recording this and live, the Halloween Eve deal. And everybody's getting ready to go out and get all that candy that you can get into. But there's also a big-time tie-in with professional wrestling and Halloween. And we'll talk about a couple of those items that you might find interesting. Of course, as part of the Cheap Heat crew, we have the big bad one himself, Mr. J.R. Ryder. How are you today, sir?
I am wonderful, my friend. I'm up in Philadelphia this week. It's a little colder here than it is in Fort Lauderdale. But it's Halloween. Kids are out. It's going to be a fun evening.
Yeah, and we're going to be joined by Morris in just a few minutes. He's, of course, finishing up with over in the Emerald Isle. We're a little bit farther ahead. I think all the trick-or-treating, et cetera, has been is said and done. It's in the books now. He's just finishing off, and we'll be jumping in when he's available. But I know in terms of pro wrestling, there's a big story this week, and that's to do with John Cena's final match. Mr. Ryder, do you want to elaborate?
So John Cena's final match, the celebrity guest, and it is rumored he will get involved, President Trump.
A WWE Hall of Famer.
He said he will be there, and it is rumored that he will be involved in the match.
Wow.
What a way to go out.
Oh, yeah, big time. Have they confirmed 100% who Cena's final opponent's going to be?
They haven't. They have not said. It's a big secret. Is it good? It's got to be Dominic at this point, I think.
What about Jericho?
For the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But a lot of folks are even speculating that Chris Jericho might get the call.
Maybe. Has Cena ever worked an angle with Jericho, though? I don't know if he has.
Yeah.
Has he?
They did back in the day. Yeah.
That'd be a good one. Jericho's he always performs.
Yeah,
good guy,
his contract. I mean, I've read different sort of speculations on it. It might be done in time. It might not. Some are saying that he'll make the big return in the Rumble. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But when you think of Halloween, Mr. Ryder, and pro wrestling, the first thing that came to my mind when we were putting the show together was Saturday night's main event back in the day. Do you remember this episode where they had a party and Vince was there, and of course interviewing many of the superstars at the time, but also Roddy Piper, and Piper was giving out bowling ball size. I guess he was saying they were candies, and one of the kids in this scene here was actually Stephanie McMahon. Do you remember that whole episode from back in the day by chance?
I briefly remember it. I don't remember the whole thing, but I briefly remember this.
Mm-hmm. It was I think it was entertaining in so much as it showed a lot of the range of the wrestlers there, especially Piper. I mean, he's always entertaining, but the legend has it that this was shot basically one take, and it was all impromptu. And of course, Hot Rod showed up and hit it out of the park, so to speak. Did you ever I know you were in the WWE, WWF long after Piper had stopped being active, but did you ever cross paths with him?
So I crossed paths with Piper several times. The last time I saw Roddy Piper was when Chavo Guerrero and I worked in Baltimore, and Chavo tore his bicep. And after Chavo tore his bicep, I went in the back like, oh, this is it. This is it for me. And the Legion of Doom grabbed me and took me into a separate room, and they were like, don't worry about it. Buzz Sawyer tore both biceps with us in a match. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. And then Piper popped his head in, and he looks at me and he goes, kid, you should have torn his other fucking arm off. And he walked out. That was my last thing with Piper. Piper was all right. Piper was the king of the dine and dash, but he wouldn't tell the guys that were, he was brutal with it. So he was with Pat Kenny, and who was Pat Kenny's tag team partner at ECW? Was it Paul? That was Paul Diamond.
With
Swinger.
Swinger.
Steeler, whatever his name was. So
Johnny Swinger?
Swinger. It was Swinger. So they ran a Denny's or something up in somewhere up by Detroit or something. And they were sitting there at the counter. And I guess Pat went to use the men's room right when Piper went for the dine and dash. So here comes poor Pat out of the bathroom. He gets ambushed by the manager. He gets stuck with the bill.
Wow.
And then Piper tore into him. What the fuck? You ruined the gimmick. We were out.
That's amazing. That's a heat-seeking thing to do that. Big time.
Yeah. This Matt goes. Poor Lance goes to the men's room, or Pat goes to the men's room. He's fucking with Piper.
Unbelievable. He actually, from what I've heard, both him and Randy Savage, a guy we'll be touching on today as well, were quite generous with the enhancement guys, as per the urban legend. He'd often pick up their checks. Did you ever know of him to do that with anybody?
Piper?
Yeah.
No, but that wouldn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't surprise. He was a good guy. Piper's a funny dude, but he would talk to himself. I mean, I guess he was getting into character, but he was batshit crazy. Mm-hmm. He was batshit crazy. He would just talk out loud about all kinds of crazy. And he swears to God that he got calls from dead people after they died. And oh yeah, he's batshit crazy.
Yeah, Hogan said that before he died too, that he got a call after Piper had passed and left a voicemail and said that he was walking with Jesus or whatever. So talk about spooky shit.
Well, if Piper says it, I kind of believe it. If Hogan told me it was raining and it was raining, I still wouldn't believe him.
Fair enough.
Always full of shit.
Hogan was also in the news in terms of Netflix are going to do a huge docu-series on his entire life and career. Did you see that?
I heard that. Good for him. Good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hopefully,
Chris Hemsworth was supposed to play him in the movie. What happened to the movie?
I thought I had read that Hemsworth had is dealing with some kind of health-related issues that sidetracked some of his projects, including that one. But I could be mistaken.
It happens.
When you're thinking of, I guess, the scariest wrestlers per se, just off the top of your head, who comes to mind? And we'll compare it to some of the ones I have here.
Scariest? Vader.
Mm-hmm. Vader, yeah. Good choice.
Vader back in the day, everybody was terrified of Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Vader, and then remember Doom?
Yeah, yeah.
And Butch Reed, Doom.
Yeah.
Doom was scary for some reason.
They're definitely imposing figures. And I think Vader, who we'll see, had a very famous match with Cactus Jack at one of the Halloween Havoc's events, is on a lot of lists. But here's a couple of obscure ones. I'll just get your thoughts on. Memphis was famous for having knockoff horror characters. Do you know who this is?
I have no idea who this is.
His name, and it's apparently a Jerry Lawler deal, is Nightmare Freddy, and that was guess who under the mask? Dangerous Doug Gilbert, friend of
my
yours
boy.
and the show.
It's my guy.
Your guy.
I see he looks the same now as he did then.
Hasn't changed a bit. Memphis was famous for those. They also ran a Jason type of guy and several others. They really were, or Jerry, I guess, was really into that. But I don't know if you remember Stampede Wrestling. They had Carl Moffat, Jason the Terrible, a very, very skilled wrestler. And this guy here, do you know what his name was?
No, I don't. You're testing my knowledge.
The Zodiac, portrayed by Barry O during his brief
good old Barry O. Good old Barry O.
Yep.
Poor he Barry O.
The manager of Jason the Terrible for a brief time. And of course, along the lines of another really a gimmick that did well for a guy that I guess needed a career refresh at the time. This guy, Leatherface.
Leatherface, Mick Foley.
Nope, it's Corporal Kirshner, the former Corporal Kirshner.
Little Kirshner. Kirshner was a good-looking guy. Why would you stick him in that fucking terrible gimmick?
I think he needed something, and it really worked for him over in Japan. Almost had a second career life with that one. They loved it over in Wing, and I guess the promotion that was Hardcore, that the name escapes me right now, but famous for the flaming match that almost killed the original Sheik and Sabu. Somebody will comment on that and correct me. But I think one of the most successful, scary, spooky style characters of all time is your good friend, Gangrel, the Brood. I know you've trained with him, you've worked with him. Did he ever talk about how this gimmick came together? Because it was really a bit of a departure for Dave, given some of the stuff that he had done in the past. But man, the fans of the Attitude Era and subsequently, they still talk about this stable, of course, with Edge and Christian. But Gangrel and the big blood drinking was really, really over. What did he ever talk to you about the character?
When I was there with those guys, they were so over, it was absurd. Their entrance was second to none. It's one of the top 5 entrances of all time. And when people see that, they just know. And the music was perfect. And I was that close. Me and Glenn Osborne were that close to being the new Brood. And here come the freaking Hardy Boys. Ruined it for us. But Gangrel loves that gimmick. I think he was there first. And they wanted to give him something. They gave him Christian and Edge to try to, groom them for the next step of their careers. And that's how the Brood came about. And then I think Luna was supposed to be in it at one point. And I think Gangrel kind of convinced them not to because she would torture her.
How did that come to pass that you and Glenn were almost selected for that? Because that would have been something. I mean, no disrespect, of course, to the Hardy Boys, but I didn't really think they fit that mold, so to speak. And you being bigger guys, it would have been a whole different deal.
We were backstage. We were in I want to say it was Meadowlands, maybe Madison Square Garden, and it was Sergeant Slaughter came to us about it, and told us we were being looked at for it, and we thought it was a done deal. Even I think Gangrel even thought it was going to happen, and then we were a couple shows later, maybe Baltimore. We're getting ready. We're talking to Gangrel backstage, and we got the news the Hardys were the new. And then the Hardys came out dressed in all their shit, which didn't make a whole lot of sense. The Hardys didn't need it. Mm-hmm. No, they didn't need it. They were trying to switch them. I don't know why. But I guess they wanted them to work with Gangrel for the next step of their career, I guess.
Was that where did Michael Hayes fit into that? Was he after or before? I can't really remember exactly.
Hayes was after. Yeah, Hayes was definitely after. Didn't they turn on Gangrel for Hayes? I think what they did, they killed that gimmick, I believe. But Hayes was definitely with the man. Hayes loved the Hardy Boys. He's a Southern boy. I love Hayes. Hayes didn't like Jim Kettner. Never did. So if you were a Jim Kettner boy, Hayes didn't really like you. I wouldn't say he hated me, but he didn't like me. And the feelings mutual was I don't fucking like him either.
So. Well, yeah, he's got his own history there. We're going to talk about Acer's The Chamber of Horrors match a little bit later when we get into some of the flagship matches of WCW. I know this predated Halloween Havoc, but folks,
Chamber of Horrors match. That has to be Kevin Sullivan and all the.
That was with the fake electrocution of a man. When you're talking about scary wrestlers, I think this guy has got to be on or near the top. Not so much in terms of the spooky supernatural gimmick, but what about the one and only Abdullah the Butcher, the original bloodbath artist, 400 pounds. He used forks, pencils, spikes, cut up on the forehead. And unfortunately, hear that he's really not doing well health wise. He's in the hospital allegedly right now. So best wishes for a speedy recovery for him. But did you ever cross paths with Abby, or back in the day when you're growing up, see some of his stuff on tape? Because it was certainly mesmerizing.
I know I met Abby. We were actually on a tour in Africa together. Me, Abby, Glenn was going to be there, but he had to leave halfway through. He flew home from London. Carl Fisher, King Kong Bundy was there. We had Tony Atlas, Coco Beware. It was a great trip. Uganda, Africa, and that's where I met Abdullah. And he was a perfect gentleman the whole time. He was a good guy. I liked Abby. He owned a barbecue restaurant in Atlanta at the time, I believe. Right, so he was raving about his barbecue. And then he was talking about how I should go to Japan and wear an all-white outfit and I'd be a big star, but he was blowing smoke. He never helped me get to Japan, so I don't know why he promised it. But he was a good guy. I saw him after that a few times. He was a very nice guy. The bloodbath, he was bleeding going to the ring. But he's a good dude. I can't say a bad thing about Abby. I wish him well. I think he had a stroke or two in the past few weeks.
I think 2 strokes. It said, yeah.
So I hope it's a speedy recovery for the man. That's tough.
Well, speaking of scary wrestlers, the next guy that we're going to talk about happens to be joining us sort of right now. We're talking about the Big Red Machine, Kane.
The fake Kane has arrived.
You got the hair flip.
This is we've jumped the shark.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy with this costume.
You will use at least one of us is. So
it's killer. Let's see it. Can you show the audience a little bit more of it, because it's got the arm gimmick and everything there?
Have you been walking
I'm
around
actually wearing my referee t-shirts. Yeah, it's got the arm gimmick. Yeah. I'm going to wear it tomorrow night. Tomorrow night I have a Halloween ball in Cork, and I'm going to wear it then.
There's a whole slew of independents that are running around as different colored. Have you seen them?
Yes, a gay Kane and a blue Kane and
cocaine.
Cocaine.
Cocaine. Yeah, cocaine. Yeah.
You know, there was a guy in WWE called Cocaine. Who was it? A fat guy from California. He was wearing all white.
Really?
Oh, what was his name?
Are you sure that wasn't he was known as Key? He was he got tossed off the scaffold by New Jack.
Yes, he was
originally. Why am I forgetting his name? I've only
known it. He was originally called Cocaine. By the way, Maurice, you missed out. We're going old school today. Today is old school. Do they have this in Ireland?
No, but I had it when I was in Dallas.
It's Arn Anderson's favorite beer, is it not, Mr. Ryder?
It could be. It wouldn't surprise me. It was my favorite beer for a long time, and then I switched over to Coors Light.
What about real American beer?
I haven't had it. I can't find it.
Really? It's going that well?
Can't find it anywhere.
I haven't had it either. Got to try that. What is it about Kane? I know that he had an incredible introduction, Morris, and he ripped off the Hell in a Cell door, and then just the whole presentation with the fire and everything. That's a gimmick that could have easily failed, but really was one of the greatest of all time. And I understand he's gearing up to do some more work in ring, allegedly, or has made some comments along those lines. And he looks to be in excellent shape. But what was it about Kane that caught your eye?
I don't know. I guess it was just the character. But I suppose if you're looking at the bigger picture, if he wasn't written as the Undertaker's brother, would he have been as big a character? I don't know. But he had some great matches. He had 3 matches, didn't he, at WrestleMania with the Undertaker? 3 different occasions. You know. I liked the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble in 1998 was the first ever pay-per-view I seen live. And at the end of that event, I don't know if you remember, but it was Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels in a casket match, and Kane set the casket on fire. Remember that? And that took the Undertaker off for a while, and he came back, I think, at that WrestleMania then to face him in one of the 3 occasions they did. I just like Kane. Even when he took the mask off, there was a big element of carnage there. Setting people on fire, setting Jim Ross on fire, electrocuting Shane McMahon's testicles. These are all great moments, guys.
Classic stuff. Mr. Ryder, I know you've been around Mr. Jacobs quite a bit. What are your thoughts on the Kane character and the man himself, the mayor?
The man himself is top of the list. Just a great guy. I can't say enough good things about Glenn. He was a wonderful guy. I worked with him because I never worked him, but I worked with him. I was always a druid or like a cop when he was. It's always something ridiculous when he was. But like we pushed him down to the ring as druids one time. I don't know if it was Survivor Series in Philadelphia. That might have been WrestleMania. I'm not sure what that was. But we pushed him down the ring, and the freaking coffin started going to the left and almost fell off the fucking stage.
Wow.
And we all our heads down, like, I'm trying to steer this freaking thing. But actually, him and Steve Austin were in it. It was Kane and Steve Austin in the coffin, and we're just pushing the 2 of them down to the ring, and they're laughing their balls off inside it. But we had a good time with those guys. They were perfect gentlemen, great sense of humor, always there for the kids. He's a really good guy. Really
Is he a popular politician over there? It seems so.
Very, very, and it would not surprise me if he got a VP shot in the next election.
Nice.
Wow.
He's that popular.
Some people like a lot of people I work in a shop, and the job, they didn't know because they wouldn't be wrestling fans. It'd be older people and whatever. And they said, "Who are you dressed as?" I said, "The mayor of Knoxville. That's who I'm dressed as." Yeah.
I can see him being maybe a governor next and then going for president. He's going to run at some point.
Yeah, and Acer is pointing out that he did enhancement work in WCW in 90 and 91 as I think it was Glenn. Did he use his real name? But I think it was Bruiser Mastino as well.
We all have, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Nobody starts as Undertaker.
Yeah. You know the guy that we were talking about that I couldn't remember who was key and he was called Cocaine for a bit. Vic Grimes.
Vic Grimes, that is it. What a weird human being he was. He was not well liked backstage. I don't know why, but he was a strange guy.
I still say that bump off in XPW in California off the scaffold where he barely hit one of the tables. Of all the extreme moments, I don't think anything touches that, and it was legit scary. I can't imagine who gave the green light to that, but maybe being New Jack, he just did it.
I guarantee you, New Jack just did it. I've heard this story straight from the horse's mouth. New Jack, if the guy died, New Jack wouldn't care. New Jack hated him. Hated that man.
That's because of the Danbury fall where Grimes didn't go with him and fell on him and caused some major injuries.
Cracked his skull and he was blind in one eye or something over.
Yeah, and never called him in the hospital allegedly or anything. That's a guy I wish I could have interviewed before he passed, but rest in peace. Next guy, I mean, when you think of him in the long stance, he's almost like a comedy character. But I think when he started, he was a legit, supposedly scary individual, and that would be the Boogeyman. Remember him with the worm eating and the makeup and the nursery rhymes? Any encounters with Martin Wright?
I met Marty Wright in OVW. Again, I met him, and then the Santino Marella incident took place the same night. the slapping by Jim Cornette to Santino Marella. Because the Boogeyman was leaving the ring. Santino had his daughter, and he was a newbie. Didn't know he was supposed to run away, so he like nervously laughed, which led to Cornette going crazy and smacking him in the back room. But Marty is a good dude. He sat down next to me in the stands, and we just started talking. And I'm kind of I told him I'm proud of him for pulling off what he did, because he was at the time he was 45 years old, I think.
And remember, just before that as well, he lied about his age on Tough Enough. That was the first.
He said he was 35. He was actually 49. He was talking about built like a brick shit house. He lived in his van. And would go to the gym every day all day long. He was jacked. So
Still
he looks
is.
great.
Still
No,
is.
he's a bit. He's got 60-something years old now, isn't he?
Early
Has to be.
60s. Yep.
Yeah. So, but great guy. And I was talking to him, and he's looking at me, and he's just smiling. And then he goes, "Man, you're like an angel." But I don't think so, bro.
That's a first.
I know what you're going through, but I'm not, believe me, I'm not that.
That's
He's
a
a
first.
wonderful
Well,
guy, Marty. Really good guy. And then he had all his teeth. Then his teeth actually got knocked out by Danny Jamundo, the Inferno Kid. Yeah. So he shot. How did this spot go? All right. Danny shot him out of the corner. Reverse. Danny goes into the corner. And the boogeyman's supposed to come in and take the elbow. Well, he took it straight in his freaking teeth. And that's what knocked his teeth out.
wow.
Danny Jamundo knocked out the boogeyman's teeth.
Wow.
There's an Inferno Kid story for you as well.
Yeah, I'm a fan of his work as well.
Would
Next,
you
Inferno was one of
just one more thing on that, Jack?
You want to hear some funny stories? Talk to Inferno.
Would Mr. Ryder have taken the worm gimmick in the mouth?
No.
Okay, just wanted to clarify that.
Zero kids.
they were candy worms anyway, weren't they?
No,
they were real worms.
they were real.
Wow.
Oh, they were every bit of real.
Wow. Yeah, gross.
I wouldn't have done that. No fucking way. I don't give a shit if Vince told me to do it. Wouldn't happen.
Mm.
Next is a guy that I bet you crossed on the independents somewhere, and you want to talk about an original monster. You got to go with Kamala. That presentation, Sugar Bear Harris to Kamala in Memphis, man, those vignettes in Jerry Jarrett's backyard. I mean, kind of questionable and under today's rules of engagement in terms of portraying a guy, but man, was he a force to be reckoned with in the 1980s? Just he had a couple of really good runs in the WWF, against Andre, then a run against Hogan. Never really paid the way that he should have been, and unfortunately was in dire straits at the end of his life. But first, I'll get Morris's memories, if you have any. You might be a little before your time of Kamala, and then anything that you have in terms of your interactions with him, Mr. Ryder. But Morris first.
I've only really seen clips of him, guys. To be honest, I didn't see him in real time, if you get me. But interesting character, and that's really, I don't know a lot about him.
Kimchi, he had Kimchi with him.
Steve Lombardi.
Remember? It wasn't always Steve. It was always a different Kimchi. They didn't know who it was going to be. It was always somebody different, but it was mostly Steve Lombardi. But I never had a whole lot of interactions with Kamala. I heard he's a very nice man. I think diabetes took him down. Lost both his legs to it, I believe, right? So very good guy. He never got the push because Hogan, you weren't getting Hogan's spot. So we're going to be the Intercontinental Champion. He didn't cut a promo, so he couldn't be Randy Savage. He was a good heel, and he was a fun guy. Was wasted an Undertaker feud. He went in the coffin.
Yeah, he. I thought he was impressive, but I mean, in his run with Hogan, this is an example of classic booking to make a legit threat and a challenger. The formula that they used in WWF, where Kamala, I remember as a kid watching him week after week after week squash enhancement talent. So that the time that he actually got to work Hogan, I bought a ticket, went to Maple Leaf Gardens as a kid, or my parents dragged them there. But what a good presentation that everybody says you can't build guys up that way anymore. The business has changed. You're not going to make monsters like that anymore. But I'm not convinced. I thought he was a really good talent. Should have cashed out a little bit more. Byron, I don't know if he was 6'9", but he was certainly in and around the 350 mark, I think, in his prime.
Mm.
They said I was 6'4".
Very good. That's believable, though. That's only an inch.
My boots on.
We're about the same height. Mankind, Mick Foley, one of his incarnations. with the leather mask and the pulling the hair out and the rat, whatever the rat's name, Jim Cornette's rat that he had in the boiler room. Great stuff with the Undertaker. Really came in to be a fool for the Undertaker at a crucial time. Personally, I'm a Cactus Jack guy. Wasn't really into that particular persona. I thought it was kind of strange at times with the hair and whatnot. But what did you guys think of Mankind?
Take it, Maurice.
Yeah, I'd like first memories I have would have been the first major match I seen. Actually, when you go back to that Royal Rumble in 1998 was the first event I watched live. He was in that in these three characters as Mankind, Cactus Jack, and Dude Love. And then I think it was that year, or maybe the year after, was that Hell in a Cell with The Undertaker. I don't know if it was 98 or 99, but they're my earliest memories of him. But then as time evolved, Mick Foley turned into a bit more of a jokish character, and then we kind of lost that edge from Cactus Jack and Mankind. I suppose like when his body started giving up and he had to do the commissioner gimmick and all that, he had to change. But yeah, good memories of him. Good memories.
The fall off the cell is what took Mick out. He always tells you, I was okay. He wasn't okay after that. Nobody would ever be okay. But I got to tell you, Mick, I don't think he was scary, but he played the character so well that he got Undertaker to a level that Undertaker would not have got to if it wasn't for Mick Foley. So people love Undertaker. Mick Foley's the one that put him. That throw off the cage, that made the Undertaker.
If you
now, Mankind did screw me on MTV, so I'm still a little biased against it.
What's this?
What? You don't know this?
No.
MTV's I Want to Be a WWE Superstar. You don't know this story?
No.
Oh, good Lord. All right. We were in Wildwood wrestling for Tommy Fierro for ISPW. And I was approached by AFA to represent his school on MTV live for a thing called I Want to Be a WWE Superstar. That's all that was explained to me, Glenn Osborne, and Julio Sanchez. They wanted the three of us, WWE, they wanted the three of us to represent the Wild Samoan school, and we go there to this TV thing, and we pretend, we got to wear disguises because we're getting recognized. So I go, and Glenn and Julio don't show up. I stay at Simon Diamond, Pat Kenny's house the night before with him, Dawn Marie living together. I drive into New York City. I'm in front of MTV Studios, as I'm told. I got a Flyers hat on. I'm all disguised. And we go in, and it's a big, goofy tryout, right? Well, it's rigged for me to win. And Mick Foley is the is the judge. So if you watch it, you go on YouTube and watch I Want to Be a WWE Superstar, you'll watch at the end when it just comes down to me and this guy called the Hungarian Barbarian, who looks just like Mick Foley. Built just like him, same hair, live on television. Even Carson Daly didn't know what to do. Mick picks the other guy as the winner as I'm stepping forward, and I started laughing. And then the other guy thought he got signed to WWE. Like, he really thought he got a contract. So he was so happy. I'm like, oh my, this poor guy. He didn't know it was a work. He had no idea.
Oh my.
The guy's calling WWE for his contract, and he's showing up at Titan Tower. And
oh my.
So is this on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
We need to watch that. We need to watch that.
I had to beat up a doll on national television. It was absurd. It was so stupid. But 5 million people watched it, so it was a good idea.
Years before Kenny Omega did it in Japan with a blow-up doll.
What's the scariest thing that you've ever seen on Halloween? For me now, it being the 31st of October, the price of the Raw tickets in Belfast came out today, and they were scary. Mr. Ryder, £634, I believe, for a wheelchair ticket for that event. That is game over, tapped out for me, done and dusted. £600 for a wheelchair ticket. No, I'm sorry.
Little Saudi Arabia buys it.
That's par for the course. I can't wait to see what they finally come up with for John Cena's last match in terms of those experiences, etc. Next guy, Morris. I think you'll be able to speak to this individual. Being a fan, I know we've talked about him on the show before, but how about Bray Wyatt as the freaky cult like leader, or the other personality, the Fiend? I preferred the freaky cult leader myself. I thought that was just money, that whole Wyatt family deal. The Fiend had his fans. Really, apparently, Bray was interested in writing horror films and was going off in that direction as well. But man, 37 or 36, or however old he passed away, that's horrendous. Definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. He's there. I think. What did you think of Bray Wyatt when you first saw him? Did you see him in NXT first?
Yeah, Husky Harris, I believe. Is that his name in NXT?
Yeah.
And then I seen him on TV. I did prefer the original gimmick as well than the Fiend. But actually, at one of my DJ shows, it's very loud here, guys. It's raining so heavy. But at one of my DJ shows last week, a guy actually came dressed as the Fiend, which I thought was pretty cool. So, yeah, I think he'd be the more modern day character that came on from, we'll say, Kane and Undertaker. We haven't seen anything like it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Your thoughts on him?
The original character, though. Waylon Mercy was the original Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it just didn't work. But that Vince had that idea, lock, deliver, load. Waylon Mercy was supposed to be his whole thing. Just didn't work at the time. Mm-hmm. Then they rehashed it and put it on the right guy, and he made magic out of it. That's where that came from.
Yeah, if you're interested in an interview that I did with Dan Spivey about 2 months ago, he talks about that, and it's really, really interesting stuff. You're bang on there. Next guy is a guy that I know you've worked in the ring, perhaps as one of his other personas, and not this one. But what about the original Papa Shango deal? Charles Wright, the Godfather with the curses, and who can forget the deal with the Ultimate Warrior when Warrior vomited pea soup? That was awesome. What did you think of Papa Shango as opposed to the Godfather, Mr. Ryder?
I love Papa Shango, and he was actually going to bring that back at one point, and it was going to be very dark and very vicious. And then they decided to go in a different direction for whatever reason. But if you ever see if you look it up, where Jerry Lawler did his makeup for the new Papa Shango, that gimmick was lights out awesome. Awesome. It would be great. But anything Godfather does, he's done very well. Whether it was Kama, the fighting machine, the Good Father, whatever it was, he's always been spot on, man. Bear is a great guy.
And still in tremendous physical condition, too. Absolutely. Morris, do you remember Papa Shango or that deal with in terms of with the Warrior, maybe that feud that they had, that program?
Yet again, I just kind of watched back Papa Shango, because when I started watching wrestling, it was, well, the Godfather, I think, wasn't he in the Nation of Domination for a while? Yeah.
That's when he was Kama, right?
Yeah, Kama. And that's my first thoughts, or my first viewings of him. And then obviously the Godfather. But I have seen elements of Papa Shango. Interesting character as well. Mm-hmm. And could you hear that rain?
Yeah, it's happening here too. I'm in a bunker in my estate here, but it's happening big time.
Global warming.
Yeah. Yeah. Even Bill Gates has backed off on that this week too. Climate change. Yeah, it's global warming, climate change. Yeah, yeah. How about the what a lot of folks and people have already talked about it, of course, obviously the most I guess you could call it the scariest and most successful gimmick in the history of the business, and that's got to be The Undertaker. Does anybody even come close?
No,
not even close. There's nothing. There will never be a better gimmick in wrestling than The Undertaker. It stood the test of time. It's just too good. It was on the right guy. And you know what's good at The Undertaker? They changed it for the Attitude Era at the right time. It became the American Badass, and then it came back. They really did a good job of keeping it fresh and alive and different the entire time. Had he just stayed with the big tie, not talking, it would have got old. But he really did a great job evolving that character. And Vince was behind him 100%.
Yeah. And a lot of it comes down to the man as well and his professionalism that everybody talks about.
Mm-hmm.
Probably never missed a day.
No. Did you were you aware that the WWF had to purchase that gimmick from an organization on the Indies that were running a tag team called the Undertakers? They were about the size of Benny and Billy Maguire. They were about 400 pounds, but they were dressed up looking undead, sort of. Were you aware of that? Did you ever see those individuals, Mr.
I've never heard this story.
Didn't we break that story on this podcast? Who was it that told us?
It was, yeah. They talked about it, but it had been out there before. It was ICW, I believe, that were running those, or a version of ICW in the Northeast that were running them, and they actually sold the deal to WWF for not that much money.
He was originally Kane the Undertaker when he first came out.
Yes.
$1 Million Man.
Survivor Series.
And Mean Mark.
Before that in WCW, yeah. Mm-hmm. Nobody comes close. That was kind of a predetermined discussion, but a few honorable mentions I thought I'd throw in there. What about Doink the Clown, Matt Bourne, as the evil prankster psychologically? I thought that was bang on.
Yeah,
it was a great heel. That could have gone a lot further in the Attitude Era. Had it come back around, more of like an it character,
mm-hmm.
The right guy. But it was a good feud, very good character.
Would have had a good feud with Goldust.
Mm-hmm. People didn't like wrestling him because it was a clown. They didn't like him, but he was a great heel.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. He was over.
Yeah, it's too bad he was fired. I interviewed his very nice daughter, Matt Bourne's daughter, and she had indicated that there were plans to really bring him over into the next level, and then I guess due to wellness policy violations, whatnot, he was let go. So that's unfortunate.
Party animals, what I was told.
Yeah, and could be not a very nice guy, but that's the way that it goes. Kevin Sullivan, you must have encountered Kevin Sullivan a few times. We booked him up here for a company that I used to be the EVP for, and he was great to work with, very professional, except for all the extras that he charged. In Florida, he really pioneered that quasi satanic gimmick, although he explained to me in person, if you notice, he never mentioned Satan. He used the name of Buddha Dean, but it was, with the fallen angel, Nancy Benoit, and the weird nun and Mark Lewin with him. That was a really impressive sort of deal back in the early to mid 80s. All the magazines covered it. What are your dealings, or did you have any extensively with Kevin Sullivan, Mr. Ryder?
He was always in Tampa. We wrestled for Ron Neby down there. Kevin was always there. Always a funny guy, hilariously funny guy. Great character, little guy. He was only 5'6". He was like his big, but boy, can he go! He was a good dude. He had a great imagination. He knew the business very well. If you needed any questions answered, that was your guy.
You asked Morris what the scariest thing was on Halloween. I can't say it was Halloween because it was May, but when Kevin Sullivan came out at about 7:30 in the morning on the date of the show, and he was naked as a jaybird and wanted to talk creative for the show with me, I would say that was right up there. But no disrespect.
That's why I was laughing. That's why I was laughing as soon as you mentioned them.
You knew that was coming, right?
Yeah.
That was an interesting experience. I mean, what a mind, what a loss that was for the business. And some people have talked about early. Another guy we've lost this year has sucked, but Sabu, when he was in the Hannibal Lecter era character. He was strapped out and unleashed there on the ring. That was an interesting presentation, but one that he didn't enjoy apparently.
I can see not enjoying it. He didn't have a great personality for it. Like, he wasn't a big personality guy. He would just do crazy shit that no one else would do. Couldn't cut a promo to save his life, but I liked him. He was always a nice guy, but he had his demons. That's what did him in. You can't put him in a character because he's just a Sheiky guy. He was trained by the original Sheik, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's his guy. You can't put him in another character. You can't make him Hannibal Lecter. You just let him be himself and dive on his head.
Mm-hmm.
Honorable mention for Mordecai, the man that never was, and the man that never showed up on our podcast.
That's too bad. That would have been a really good interview. He's out there a little bit again.
He's a realtor now. He's busy. He's a realtor.
Yeah, we were going to have like the writer of Kane's movie See No Evil, Dan Madigan, who wrote a lot of the stuff for Mordecai, where we're going to do a show, and it'll be a first time ever where we have the writer and the man talking about what happened and what went wrong. We'll try and revisit that again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think he's back out making the rounds with Shelly Martinez, doing the conventions and stuff. So maybe he'll have an appearance. I just remembered something going back to Mick Foley for a second. I interviewed Max Payne just recently, and he talks in some detail about his tag team with Mick Foley and some of the issues he had in WCW. He's going to come back in a week or so and get into more detail about what happened with his very successful tag team with Mick Foley. Did you guys see the Super Brawl match with the Nasty Boys? That wild Falls Count Anywhere deal?
I can't say I've ever seen it.
It's definitely worth a watch. Max indicated that that program they had with the Nasty Boys was great, but Brian Knobbs was very stiff, and Brian Knobbs actually got injured due to a suplex that was, if you look at the tape, it was really, Max is right, it's definitely Knobbs' fault, and that kind of sewered his run in WCW there after with Bischoff and whatnot. So check out that interview, fans, as well as the match on YouTube. I think there's an edited version on there, but it's definitely worth a watch. Am I missing anybody else, guys, that aside from the one that hurt people, stabbing people legit? I think we pretty much covered all of them. Am I missing anybody else off the top of your head?
Katie Vick.
Oh yeah. That whole storyline. Correct.
Good. We've talked about it so many times. There's no need to talk about it again, unless Ryder has something new to add to it.
The Yeti. You forgot about the Yeti.
Good point.
Bear hug. Him and the Giant.
Good point. Yeah.
Oh, and Al Snow. Sorry, the Big Boss Man feeding Al Snow's dog Pepper to him that time as well.
100%.
That's scary too.
What a great guy he was.
Great
trailer. Funniest dude in the world. What a really good guy.
Vito in a dress.
Byron is saying Vito in a dress. Yeah, that was scary. Vito's back in the news, as we were talking about before we went on air. Vince Russo and him are now something to do with Juggalo Championship Wrestling. So Vito's a good guy. It's good to see him. Man, 61 or 2 years old, and he's again another guy that's in phenomenal shape. It gives us hope that as long as you stay in the gym, you can maintain that. That's pretty cool.
And he's a carer for his wife as well, who does have some serious health issues at times. So he's just a good guy all around. You've interviewed him, haven't you, Morris? Here, Vito was the first wrestler I ever interviewed. I'd like to get him back on again.
Absolutely.
Busy guy though.
Byron's mentioning George Steele, the Animal Steele, especially when he was a heel. Yeah, 100%. His matches against Bruno, he was a He was a scary character, needed a shave from the neck down, as the body used to say. I just saw before we went on air a guy that I totally forgot about, but who's stepping into the ring with a man that you faced, Devin Crowbar Storm, Vampiro. Vampiro's, despite his health challenges, he's going to be wrestling, I think, in the New Jersey area. And what a character he was or is in many respects. Did you encounter my fellow Canadian Ian Hodgson anywhere?
I have never met Vampiro. Never. I've wrestled
Special guest
Crowbar
rep.
dozens of times. I've never met Vampiro. He was a heat-seeking missile. Apparently, he was another one. If he had as much heat with the audience as he did with the boys, he'd be a bigger star. Apparently, he was another one pissing everybody off.
But yeah, he's. I thought he was retired, but no. And if anybody can get a good match out of him, it's definitely Crowbar. We've really gone a lot into this section of the program, so we'll just blow through some of the other content that we had done up, and that is Halloween Havoc WCW, the event that, of course, we couldn't have this show without talking about. It became WCW's premier event, and as some of the fans have said, it was really the Thunderdome with Sting and Ric Flair against the Great Muta and Terry Funk that kind of set the template for Hell in a Cell. And then there was the Abdullah getting electrocuted deal that they're still talking about back then. But what in terms of Halloween Havocs that you guys have checked out, do any ring a bell or any stick out? I would say this one here, 93, when it was Vader against Cactus Jack, was probably one of the best. But interested in your thoughts. There was also the first one in 89 that featured that match, but also you had Doom versus the Steiner Brothers, and a lot of interesting tag team work. Dynamic Dudes versus the Freebirds and the SWAT team against the Midnight Express. But did you guys check out any of the Halloween Havocs, and what do you think of them as a general pay-per-view?
Never seen any live.
Not on tape either?
Nope.
Ryder, yourself?
Never a big WCW watcher back in the day. The only time I ever really watched it is when the Monday Night Wars were going on, because I was, working with WWE the whole time. We all wanted to see what they were doing. I never really got into it.
It was the first company I watched, WCW. I watched a lot of WCW, but then when I heard about WWF and I changed the channel one night, they actually used to run them head to head here in Ireland and the UK at 9 p.m. on a Friday night. Just like when they were live on the Mondays, but they'd run them here pre-tapes at 9 p.m. on the Friday, which I thought was interesting.
I think one of the the greatest WCW matches of all time took place in a Halloween Havoc, and that was Randy Savage against DDP. That's out there on YouTube or elsewhere. Definitely check that one out. Did you happen to see that match or any of the program that they had?
What was it, DDP and Savage?
DDP and Savage.
They had a great rivalry, didn't they?
Yes.
They really did. They worked very well together, those two.
One thing I've noted.
Done more.
Yeah. One thing I've noted from that poster there, if you want to get that poster back up, Jack, when you can. Yeah. The Slim Jim in the middle, the new sponsor, the now sponsor of the WWE tables.
What are Slim Jim again?
Yeah, they're on all the tables now. All the prop tables have Slim Jim on them.
LA
Really?
Knight's the new snap into a Slim Jim guy.
That's interesting. What's old is new again. In terms, I guess we could talk about some of the supernatural storylines that have been in wrestling and get your opinions on those. One that's coming back, I guess, in recent months and weeks is the Broken Universe. Matt Hardy doing the Delete. Again, they're calling it something else now, but they're bringing it back. What were your thoughts on that with all those supernatural elements?
I love Matt Hardy's when he came out with that. That was great. Totally different, out of character for him. He's an entertainer, and he just wanted to try something new. I think he did a great job with it. Him and Brother Nero, and then they brought Bray Wyatt into it eventually it was Woken Matt Hardy, which I didn't like. But it was a great idea. It really was.
Yeah, and it opened.
Wasn't that after the Lead and Edge thing?
Mm-hmm.
It brought his whole career back with it. So good for him.
It opened the door for him for another run.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about supernatural?
You got to give him credit because he's the inventor of the theatrical match.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's his thing. Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
That AJ Styles and Undertaker WrestleMania thing during COVID wouldn't have happened. Ooh, I said a bad word. If it wasn't for Matt Hardy. Video censored. Boom, gone.
No, apparently we're over 5 minutes into the broadcast, so we're good.
Okay.
We can get away. We should also say right off the hop, I meant to say this, but this channel is very proud to be completely AI free. No
And
AI here.
And fully vaccinated.
I'm not sure those two are related, but YouTube's getting a lot of heat on there about the use of artificial intelligence. This will always be, for better or for worse, it will always be 100% human driven and produced. So let's put ourselves over for that. What about, guys, the Ministry of Darkness, that 98 to 99 deal, and it basically had the Undertaker forming a satanic cult, if you will, with the Acolytes, Midian, Big Viscera, and then of course the culmination, which was the kidnapping of Stephanie McMahon and that failed, one of the failed marriages, and then they did the old ECW thing on the crucifix. It almost got them canceled. A lot of interesting stuff there. It was kind of the edgier side of the Attitude Era. Do you guys remember that good stuff? I know you do, probably, Mr. Ryder.
He touched on it earlier
when they tied Steve Austin to the Taker's symbol, put him up on the air. Mm-hmm. The place was unbelievable. The reaction to that. Mm-hmm. We were in the back watching. We knew it was something special. It was unbelievable.
Mm. And you touched on it earlier.
They really fucking put there on that thing.
Yeah, you touched on it earlier when you were talking about the Undertaker, and he made those character transitions at the right time, and that's an example of it there.
I always found that interesting that it was like, I don't know, not that long, if memory serves me correct, that ECW, Raven came up with the Crucify Sandman deal, and that was the night that Kurt Angle was there and supposedly going to sign with ECW, and he saw it and he was completely pissed off, and then Raven had to come out and apologize again, and there wasn't any of that kind of heat over that, was there, Mr. Ryder?
No, not at all. Not on that, not at all. Vince loved it.
Very strange.
No, ECW got heat on it. I don't know who gave ECW so much heat about it, but the way WWE did it, they did it on the Undertaker's symbol. It wasn't a cross. It wasn't mocking. It was just the Undertaker's. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
it was an unbelievable moment. And
I wonder where that symbol is now.
The first time I met Stephanie McMahon was the night they tried to kidnap her.
Oh, really?
And Ken Shamrock was running around looking for her.
That's tremendous.
The first time I ever met Stephanie was right after that.
Was she good with you? We've heard different sort of reports in that regard.
I am going to go on record telling you this. I guarantee I could have dated Stephanie McMahon. It's how well we got along. Zero doubt in my mind.
Would you be charging these prices for tickets?
Absolutely. He lives in a $60 million house. I wouldn't have waited so long.
What the future could have held there. And you know, we talked about this one a bit, but you know, the whole ongoing program between the Undertaker and Kane, and that whole elaborate storyline about the brother deal, the Brothers of Destruction. A lot of folks are saying it was the blueprint for supernatural wrestling, with the WrestleMania burials, lightning strikes, and all that good stuff. Did you ever, when checking that content out, did you ever think it was, because I did on a couple of occasions, I thought, wow, this is a little over the top in terms of being theatrical, or did you guys dig it all?
No, I loved it all.
I never thought it was over the top. With the Attitude Era, nothing was over the top.
The wrestling business,
go further. You can everything was gold.
Wrestling is missing that now. It's missing that entertainment. Everybody looks the same. Everybody talks the same. Everybody walks the same. Everyone wears the same black gear. No.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think you have a general point there. Let's end off, Morris, with something that we talked about before going on air, and that's your personal. I guess you said it was your favorite match overall, and it's got a, you know, definitely a spooky, supernatural, well, at least Halloween tie-in, and that's the match, the ambulance match between Kane and Shane McMahon. Give us the goods on that one.
So I really liked that Survivor Series. So Vince was in that Survivor Series against Taker and the Buried Alive match as well. And I just love these gimmick matches. But when my kid was really small, the first kid, he was like 2, I showed him this ambulance match and he just watched it. He just watched it over and over. I must have seen that match about 60 times. So much so now that I've kind of been critiquing the match, and I could tell that some of it has been pre-recorded. Just by certain elements. I've just watched it so often that I knew that whatever backstage stuff that they'd done was definitely pre-recorded. So it was really, really good. And on the Chris Jericho news, I think himself and Kevin Owens were at some hockey game, maybe you might know, in Canada last night together. Jericho put up a picture of best friends.
Yes, I saw that today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Some are saying he could be seen as a final opponent. Others are saying his contract isn't done until January, and he's a Rumble guy. And then others are saying that there's no way he'd walk away from the Tony Khan money, given the fact that he was, you know, one of the godfathers, if you will, founders of AEW. I think he should.
He doesn't need the money.
He's rich. When you're rich, once you have his money, it doesn't matter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
WWE will pay him more.
He's got
100%.
2 platinum albums. He's fine. Jericho doesn't need the money.
Mm-hmm. One before we get final thoughts, I know Morris, you're probably going to go and sort the candy out, and Mr. Ryder has got that infamous nightlife akin to Ric Flair in the 80s, so we'll find out what he has planned. But just want to hit you with a couple of program notes. We've got a weekend that's just stacked here coming up tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. If you're watching live, Ringside Riffs with my broadcast partner and charge in pro wrestling, one of the big money players, the Kingpin, Angel Medina. We're back with Pitbull Gary Wolf finally to interview him about his book, Pitbull Unleashed. Really looking forward to that. Then at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as part of the Headed to Headbangers Ball, Flex Wrestling, the company that everybody's talking about, Headbanger Thrasher will be live. We'll take some fan questions. We'll talk about his career and what he's looking for heading into December 6th at the Headbangers Ball. And then topping off a stacked day tomorrow at 5 p.m., it's episode 3 of Brad Anderson's Old School Family Legacy podcast, looking at the Four Horsemen. And as the son of Gene Anderson and a worker in WCW, I don't mean wrestler because it's a little bit before that, but he was always behind the scenes. He's got a wealth of information to talk about the Four Horsemen. So you're going to want to check that out. And then finally, Sunday at 5 p.m., the great Scott McGee a man who cut his teeth in the territories, including Stampede, also did WWF work. Really looking forward to that one. So we're just jammed here on the Cheap Heat Productions podcast network. Guys, what are your final thoughts?
My wife's going to kill me if I don't get out the door to take her to dinner in 3 minutes.
Fair enough. You're going to want to do that. You don't need that heat.
What's on the
I
menu?
hang up on you. It's like it's just staring at the stairs at me.
What's on the menu?
This is the scariest thing I've seen on Halloween. My wife hangry.
You want to keep her happy. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. You tell her that you're the boss and you'll go when you're ready.
I will tell her that. Then the next thing you know, I'll get a shoe thrown at me.
And see how that goes.
Yeah.
Well, in the interest of not making Mr. Ryder later, we're gonna shut it down, fans. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the input, and make sure, again, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, because we're gonna be just rolling the content out for Kane and the Big Bad Wolf himself. I'm Jack. Thanks for watching. Happy Halloween.
There you go.
Thank you for watching this video. Please give it a like if you enjoyed it. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Cheap Heat Productions. Don't forget to hit the notification button and you won't miss any of our upcoming interviews, recurring programs, or entertainment products.